Hetapu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh Keparu with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to negotiate for more money if you're going for a job. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. If you're interested in learning more about my spiritual teachings, I do have free ebooks for you. You can scroll below, click on the links, and download a free ebook and start reading right away. Now, if you want to know more about the Kemetic culture and my teachings, you can become a Patreon supporter and get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the esoteric, videos that will teach you how to meditate, the proper breathing exercises, videos that will teach you self-hypnosis, how to contact the ancestors, how to summon spirits, all that good stuff. And if you're a Sarah level contributor, you get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. You can cancel at any time. Last but not least, you can share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. Haroon Nefer, let me adjust my camera. This is really annoying me now because my camera should be a little more up there. Oh, there we go. All right, hope that looks good. Let me just adjust it a little bit more. Bring it down a little more. All right, that should, hopefully that's good. Okay. So I'm looking very hetero-ish today with this shirt, and, not feeling too great. I messed up as usual, Often what I'll do is, because I take a lot of vitamins, supplements every day, so I'll forget to take them at a certain time, which I like to take them consistently. Which is like around 2 p.m. every day. And if I forget, I'll grab them at the last minute. And I'll have to do it exactly right, and I'll tell you why. And often I don't. I'll grab a bunch of them, maybe like 30 of them. So it's 30 different supplements, and I'll take them, and I'll forget to eat. And if you ever take supplements on the empty stomach, you'll get nauseous and get sick. So that usually happens. And then I'll try to eat something when it's too late after I already feel not too good, you know what I mean? So I got to remember to eat first, take the supplements, take them on time, and then give it time to work its way through my body. But I took them really late today, like about 4 p.m. because I forgot. I was like, oh, I forgot to take my supplements. Oh my goodness. And then I rush and I overtake them. I take more than I should, and then all kinds of problems develop. So you don't want to do that, So, it was interesting the other day, actually a little while ago, a friend and I went out to the Palms here, and they have a little outside like club area where they play music and stuff like that. And I had this shirt on, and I was standing there, and I didn't know that there was. It's basically like a straight event, but they had. I don't know how, a gathering of gay men come in. And they were flamboyant, very good dressers. Not as good as me, but whatever. And my friend was trying to be funny, and I think he had grabbed me and said to them that my shirt looks better than their outfits or something to that nature. I forgot. So they thought I was part of the club, that I played for their team. And I was like, no, I don't. And lo and behold, like every one of them there must have been trying to hit on me. And I was just like, I looked at my friend, I was like, don't you ever do that again. And it was so funny. At the end of that, I kind of was actually a bit angry because it got annoying after a while. He's just like there laughing, having a ball, having fun, I'm like, it's not funny, man. It's not funny. I don't play for their team. Now they all think I do, So, but how can they resist, I mean, come on, whatever, I digress, So let's talk about this subject matter, which is kind of very important, which is, how do you negotiate for more money, which we all would like more money, Now, let's say hypothetically you can't use magic, okay, because I definitely would be using magic, but just say hypothetically you don't. This boils down to basic traditional negotiation skills, And this is one of the things I talk about in my program, the Six-Figure PM, where we teach how to be a digital PM, where you're building banners, websites, email campaigns, all this really cool stuff, videos, online videos. And it affords you the opportunity to work with different ad agencies. And these ad agencies, some of them produce commercials, some of them are strictly pharmaceutical products. Others are really cool, like you could work with like Paramount Pictures and things of that nature. And as the digital project manager, you'll be managing the project from A to Z, right? But now the way this works is people come into my program, they complete the program, and then we tend to set them up with a recruiter that will find them a position with these ad agencies. But every position is different. So some positions may pay a lot, others may not pay that much. And usually, typically, it's the company that's trying to get away with trying to have you work more and pay less. That's typically what's going on there. So there are things that you can do to circumvent that, to make sure that that doesn't happen. You see, in the traditional world of looking for a job, it used to be like you're looking in the papers, you're looking online at the job boards, and you're submitting your resume, and you get a bite, and you go for the interview, and you either get it or you don't. But when you're dealing with something like digital project management, and you're working through an agency, the agency typically will bring you many different jobs. It won't be just one. The recruiter will come, or a staffing agent, whatever you want to call them, they'll come to you with many different jobs. And they'll ask you if they have your permission to present you to the company. And the way it works is you should say yes to as many as them as possible. Now, the rates can be different, but they typically are around a standard rate for a digital project manager. Sometimes they're a little more, sometimes they're a little less, but they're typically standard. So, when they come to me, and unless it's really like something that's really far out there, I'll say, no, don't present me. Like if it's really like too technical, or it's in some field that I'm not really familiar with, like operations or analytics or something. But otherwise, I'll say, yes, present me. Now, here's what will happen. One or two things will happen. Number one, they'll come back and say, you start Monday. Number two, they may come back and say they'd like to do a quick interview with you. That's a really good sign. And usually the quick interview is they just want to ask you some questions around scenarios and how you handle it managing your team. But usually it's a very quick thing. It's not where your traditional job where they're doing background checks, they're letter of reference. It's none of that usually. It's very, very quick. You could even be starting the next day. This is why I love digital project management. This is why I decided to put my program together, the Six-Figure PM, because for those looking for work, it is quick, it is simple. I remember me trying to get this young woman in Priest to the job. And I told her, listen, I have something for you. It starts tomorrow. You have to say yes or no. And she actually delayed it, and they gave it to somebody else. And she couldn't believe that they gave it to somebody else that fast. And I said, yes, that's what happens in this field. They're not going to sit around waiting for you. But if they like you, then they'll wait for you. And most oftentimes they will. So they'll present you to several different companies at once. And usually these companies will need somebody pretty quickly. And you get to work with them and negotiate the terms of the contract. If you're going to come aboard as an independent company, consultant, however, you have to let them know. But once you are the apple of their eye, or if you've caught their attention, and let's say, for example, I'm going to give you this scenario. There was a company that came to me and said, we'd like him. When can he start? And then the rate was $50 an hour. So I agreed to that, and I said, okay. But then it started to gnaw at me. I was like, well, really, my rate I never really take a job that's 50 an hour. That's really, really too low. So I wasn't going to like make a big deal of it, but a couple of days passed and it really, really started to bother me. And I'm like, I tend to always, at that time, I was not valuing myself enough. So I decided to put my foot down and say, you know what, I'm worth more than this. But you have to, negotiate it properly. I had already committed to a job, already said yes. So here's how you can deal with that situation, which is like this. Since I already was submitted to a number of other companies, they came back and they were like, yeah, we'd like him to work with us as well. So I went to my recruiter. I'm not even sure I like that term recruiter, but let's just use that term to facilitate this conversation. And I said, listen, I've got 2 other offers on the table, and I'm going to turn these offers down in favor of your offer. But if I am going to do that, you've got to pay me more than $50 an hour. This is ridiculous. And of course, she was a little upset because I already committed to the job. And if you know anything, that's probably the best in this scenario. It's probably the best position, put you in the best position, because they've already committed you to starting. And now you're saying, I want more money, and they could afford to pay it if they really wanted to. So since I was turning down those other 2 offers in favor of this offer, and I also told her, listen, I got 12 kids to feed, so I stated my hardship case. So she was like, okay, I'll see if I can get you more money. I'll call you back in an hour. And I knew she was going to get me what I asked for. And when what they're going to do is when you say you want more money, don't say the rate at that particular time. Just say, I want more money. And then she's going to ask you how much you want. Now, whatever it is you want, say more than that. Because if you say what you want, they're going to come down. Hypothetically, let's just say you said you wanted, this is hypothetically, $70 an hour. Well, they're going to give you 65. So you would say 75. So you'll get the $70 an hour. Just say a larger figure. Don't ever say the exact amount you want. I did this, and I learned this when I was negotiating film deals. When I needed a budget for my film, they said, well, what's the budget you need? I was working with my producer. I said, what would it take to get this film done? She says, well, it'll take about $150,000. I said, well, when they asked for $200,000, and a lot of times with that $200,000, if you don't spend all of the amount, like we shot the film and had 30,000 over, and I didn't know anything. And I'm thinking, oh, cool, we have 30,000 over. And the production company took that money back. They said, oh, well, thank you. And I was like, oh, crap, I should have overpaid people, which I should have. They did a great job. I should have paid them more. I didn't know the production company was going to take that money back if I didn't use it all. So that was a miss on my part. But going back to this salary negotiation, so you need to have leverage. And having the leverage means that you have those other opportunities in the pipeline. Now, the great thing about this industry, when we're talking about being a digital project manager, is that typically when you're going for a job, you will have other offers in the pipeline. It won't be just one position, and that's unfortunately the way it is now, because when you're working on going through the job boards in traditional standard jobs, I don't know what's out there, office manager or, an electrician or whatever, it happens, but it's not often that you'll get 2 competing offers at once. Most often you'll get lucky and get an opportunity to get an offer. But with digital project management, it's not uncommon for you to get 3 or 4 offers or 3 or 4 jobs that want you to come work for them. So you have to take a pick of what you want, and you have to look at a lot of factors, like, what kind of project you're working on? Is it a video project? Is it a social media campaign? Is it a cool website, and you decide from there. Pharmaceutical is one of the most boring industries you can work in, but it pays the most. And that's for a reason. Pharma has a lot of money. So if you get a pharma job, you're going to get paid a lot. But it'll also introduce you to a strict process, and you'll learn fairly quickly, and you'll become good fairly quickly. And that strict process is you'll learn FDA regulations and things like that. But it'll be fun because you'll have a team that you're working with. You'll be pulling through together to get the project done. You'll be doing designs, creative designs, and working with cool developers and things like that. So let me tell you something. I don't know how I did it. There was a company I was working for. It was a pharmaceutical company in New York on 42nd Street. And I would go there. And I remember working a lot. I know how I did it now. Now it comes back to me. It's the whole header thing. Let me explain. I remember working to 2, 3 in the morning. I remember working on a lot of things. Like we were doing videos, virtual reality videos on cancer cells. And as I look back on that, I said, why did I work so many hours? And I got paid a ton of money. But it wasn't I got paid so much money that I started doing really foolish stuff with the money, buying 3 or 4 cell phones. I went to price townhouses and stuff like that in Midtown Manhattan I was going to move into. One was really nice. I should have got that one too. The only problem, I didn't get it because it wasn't near a subway system. And I had to have a long walk to get to the subway system. But it was a beautiful townhouse with upstairs and downstairs, and I could actually live there for the rest of my life. It was so beautiful. But that walk was a killer. You're talking about walking. I don't know if you guys know. If you walk, it was all the way on the east side of New York. So you have to walk blocks and blocks to get to the nearest subway. And the subway I got to was a 6 train, which wasn't the train that would get me to work. So that was another challenge there because I was working on the west side, I think it was. No, I was working, it was a 6 train. I needed a 5 train. But anyhow, but I remember one thing that got me through those long hours. Because I look back and say, well, why did I work those long hours? And it really boiled down to the fact of, because I had fun. I had fun. It was like enormous amounts of fun. I was working with a young lady, and me and her had a lot of sexual tension going on. And it was funny because she had her own office. It was a small office, and I used to go into her office, and I would do the tarot readings for her when she needed readings done. And I remember one time we're doing her readings, and the head of the department, the project manager department, walked by and saw us, and we both just froze. We were like, "Oh shit, what do I do now?" She's seeing us, and she just looked at us and kept walking. And so this young girl's office, I remember that I used to just sit there when she wasn't in her office and just eat my lunch or put my feet up on her table. And it used to piss her off. And I would do it all the time because I knew it would piss her off. So if she went on a vacation, I would literally just move into her office, and she'd come back and be all messy. And she says, "You need to clean this stuff up and stop coming in my office." So anyway, that was a very interesting story. So, but I was saying, as though there have been jobs that I've done. This is pre digital project management. I've absolutely hated. And when 5 o'clock came, I was out. I was simply out. But with being a digital PM, there was never a time I was looking at the clock. It was always fun in some way, shape, or form. And even when there were things that didn't go according to plans or things that didn't go right, you are always working with very cool people and very cool projects. I mean, here I am working for a pharmaceutical company doing virtual reality. And I'm like, this is so cool. And I'm calling up CGI companies to see if they could do the animation correctly. And I get to decide if I can hire them or not. I had to hire sound effect artists and things like that. And I didn't know a lot about that. I was just calling and figuring it out as I go along. They're like, hey, you're the project manager. Find someone that can do the CGI. I'm like, okay. And as I was doing these things, I was learning a lot. And I guess, and that was very, very exciting. I mean, it's great to be learning a lot and getting paid a lot to learn. So that was really, really, that was great. That was great. And I had like a junior project manager and a junior coordinator, and I was kind of like mentoring them and kind of responsible. And one guy messed up really bad, and I was like, okay, I'll take the heat for this, but we gotta. And they were coming to me very upset about his mess up, and I was like, yeah, I'll make sure he's okay in the future. And he was a really good guy, though. I don't think I think it was just like he was a little bit stressed. He was worried, but I think he was handling it well. He was doing a good job. So I want you to understand that there's nothing like being around really creative, smart people that you love working with. And there's nothing like getting paid a lot of money to be there. You'll find it's the greatest feeling in the world, and you start really thinking about upping your game. In other words, moving in a better neighborhood. I told you I had a car, I had a motorcycle, which I shouldn't have bought that, but that's okay. So, you just start thinking about where can you go next. And it's a really, really good feeling. So where did I go next? Well, I started touring the country to learn from different occultists, to learn more about spiritual, because when you can relax and you're not in survival mode and you're not always worried about living check to check, you can relax and breathe and say, I'm going to spend 2 weeks with this guru and learn from this guru and not have to worry about things. I'm going to spend 3 months with this other sage and learn from him and not have to worry about money or worry about things like that. And that's what I did. I just started going, in places because, as a digital project manager, they're going to pay you enough to where you can just take off several months if you want. You'll have money. So you can say, I'm going to India for a month. Don't go too long to India and don't drink the water. But anyway, you can just say you go there and spend some time with gurus, and learn from them and not have to worry. And the thing about it is you're always in demand. Your job will never be phased out. You go away, you come back, and you still have opportunities there. They never question your resume. It's like, why is there this gap? Well, because you're a consultant. They know that you work when you want to work. There's no question about that. You know what I mean? And that's the great thing about this field. You can't do that with other fields. You know what I mean? When I was working with Payne Weber UBS, I knew I had to get out of that. I was like, this is crazy. I'm not going to be doing this. It's very corporate, very stifling, no creativity, wearing suits every day. I'm not going to do this. So I was like, I got to get out of there. And I knew that there was a Haru deficiency within me. I was not a good leader. I did not speak from authority. I had problems working with people. This is why the oracle told me That's absolutely right. Yeah, yeah, that is Shepsu Haru. That's absolutely right. Yeah. Um, what was it? Now you made me lose my point, Shepsu Haru. Nah, I lost it. I lost what I was about to say. You know, oh darn it! I gotta stop looking at the chat. Okay, but anyhow, you know, you want something that affords you a good lifestyle. You don't want to have to work, and in a financial company like UBS Payne Weber, it was all about pretenses, titles, and how much you're paid, and you know, do you have an office with your name on it? And it's just ridiculous compared to working as a digital project manager. You come in with a T-shirt, ripped jeans, whatever you want. You know, bring your doggy in, let your dog come in, bring your cat in. You know, this woman got insulted because her dog ran up to me. I said, "Get that rat away from me." She says, "Don't call my dog a rat." I was just messing with it. I love to mess with it. It was a cute dog. It was a cute dog. You know, she let it run around. I liked the dog. I pretended not to like the dog, but he was cute. So, you know, you're dealing with a highly creative environment that's not going to kill you to be there 9 to 5. You know what I mean? No doubt you'll work late hours, but you'll have fun doing it because you're going to be around a lot of creative, fun people, and you're going to have go and do after work stuff with them, and you're going to build a camaraderie and a bond with them. You know. So anyway, as soon as I learned magic, you know, I was learning magic from different gurus and things like that. That's right, Bob. That's why this industry is doing really well, because when things went on lockdown, this industry got better. You know, you were more in demand, which is very interesting. You know, when it happened, I saw it and I was like, oh, I thought there would not be any jobs. And suddenly there are more because online companies started to just increase in sales and things, you know, and things started working. So digital project managers were highly in demand, you know. So I was like, this is so cool. And then I found out because pre-lockdown, often you would have to go into the office at least once a week. So after the lockdown, you didn't have to go to the office at all. So, you know, my mind starts going, you know, I'm thinking, man, I could go to Colombia. I can go to Rio and work from there. Yeah, the Philippines and work from there. But then I found out you can't, because this is a restriction on travel. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh, because I was like, I'm packing. I'm like, hey, listen, we may go to Hawaii and I can work from Hawaii. Forget this working. And I was like, I don't need to be stuck in the United States. I can go anywhere and work. But then, you know, they had some restrictions and stuff like that. So, but when those restrictions are lifted, you can go anywhere you want and work from any location you want. Even Mars, if you can get Elon Musk to give you a ride, you know, if you want to work from Mars, that's good. I don't know, the time difference must be hell, but you can do it. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to what I was saying. So the point is, just to make a long story short, I started getting books on the occult. I started, what was it? Books, classes, and I just started, you know. One thing I found out was Yoruba asked a lot of money. You know, I'm like, I don't know about those guys. They ask too much money, you know. I mean, I was cool with Yoruba religion, but they wanted 10, 15,000 to get you just to start to be a Babalawo. And I was like, oh, 10, 15,000? Right. You know, I was in with Asara Set. They never charged me a dime. You know, I'm like, whoa, what's up with this? You know, but Raul Neff had warned me about that. You know what I mean? He warned me that, yeah, be careful. Some of these guys are after money, and that's all they're looking for is to get money from you. And I noticed that too. And I was like, wow. Because I mean, it's like, it's okay to say you want 1,000 here, 1,000 there. I can deal with that. I would pay that to have the priest do the ritual for me. But when you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars to take classes, nah, I mean, that's a little extravagant. That's a little too much there. I mean, this is our religion, you know. And people were cracking me up, you know. People say, Qesankh, your stuff is expensive. I said, have you seen the prices that Yoruba can charge you $5,000 for a ritual, you know? So let's not, you know, get real. And you want to get an oracle reading for me, it's just like just $85. And one ritual in Yoruba I paid for years ago, I think it was like $2,000-3,000. You know, so let's get real now, you know. Plus I'm handsome, so you get to see me. That's added bonus, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I wanted to just let you guys know this to help you in your lives to start, because even now, you know, my mind is never satisfied. If I could do magic and make this thing happen, then I'm thinking how to make this thing happen. So if I'm getting paid this amount, I'm wondering, I want this amount now. You know what I mean? Like now I'm looking at what does it take to get to a multi-millionaire status? And I'm like, okay, let me see. There's a couple of routes I can go. Or what magic formula can I work with to get me there? Of course, I went to the oracles and all that, because that's how my mind is thinking. And I'm not taking I'm not saying anything against you guys, but I know a lot of you are very, very just complacent. You're okay with where you are. I'm not. I got rid of my old friends because some of them were no good. Some of them just had no ambition, no goals. All they would talk about was things they would do and never actually execute them. So I said, I want to be with those who are winners. I want to be with those who are actually doing things. I'm not going to sit down. First thing I did was I hooked up with guys who had all written books. I said, great, you are all published authors. And I want to be in your circle. Then the next thing I did is I hooked up with just all established priests and occultists. And then I started networking with millionaires. And next thing you know, I know a billionaire, you know? So it's like, I'm not satisfied with just being okay with my station in life. There's some people I see, they could do the same job for 10, 15, 20 years. I do something for 2 years and I'm done. I'm like, all right, this is boring. This is why I do consulting, because I can't work for a company for 2 years. I'd freak out. I'll be like, oh, wow, this is too much for me. I'm a Pisces. Y'all ever said Eddie Murphy film? I love it. I'm a businessman. I'm going to move. I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman. That's what I got to do. I got to keep on the move. You know, I can't stay stationary, you know. This is why my wives always leave me. I just can't be with the one, you know. I keep moving on. I don't know why. I just something. Maybe I should have been a Gemini. You know, that's not it. That's duplicity, you know. But anyway, that's that. Go for more in your life. Be the best version of yourself. Don't be happy with where you are in life. Have an amazing life. As I told you in my last broadcast, if I died, I could say I have done the most extraordinary things and met the most extraordinary people. I never thought I'd be standing next to and be working with a billionaire. Who could say they've done that? And he's asking me for advice in terms of what he should be doing in the shot, because I was shooting a commercial with him. how many people can say they've done that? You know what I mean? Not many. Not many. Think about that. This is Qesankh Ma Kipperu, son of Ma and Tahuti. My aunt is the beautiful goddess Heteru, in which I wear this shirt for today. Until my next broadcast, I'm in Ra.